Hello and welcome to Tobysblogs. Today I'm going to talk about, we're going to be going down old memory lane, and I'm going to be talking about TV programmes from my childhood and what I've been brought up watching, looking at specific examples which will only even recognise if you were born or brought up during the 90's, as I was. And if you do know any of the ones I've been talking about today, please leave a message down below. Okay, so there's one that I watched as a child, and it was a program called All Sorts. Now, you guys wouldn't probably never have heard of All Sorts. It was a TV show with the series I watched. I didn't really maybe watch it on television, but I watched it on video. And I probably started watching series 5 when they brought in Box. I'm a box, and it's like a talking box. And I was thinking, how did the show survive 5 series without Box? It was like, Box is All Sorts, and it's like you can't have the show without her. And it's like, well, I was brought up that way, and I was kind of brought up with Box. I'm a box, I'm a box, she's quite a loud mouth box. I can't remember the song she sings, I don't know, they all sing songs in these things, it's really good. And then you've got this man who's in all the way through, and this other man, and this woman joins them called JJ, and she's played by someone who was in Coronation Street. And every time I see her, maybe in Coronation Street, it just reminds me of that All Sorts, and it's absolutely brilliant. Yeah, Box, that's my name, if you want me to say it again, 'cause it's Box, that's my name. See, I've watched these a lot. Well, I watched that episode quite a lot as a child. Box, that's my name's Box. Yeah, so All Sorts was a really good one. I love the one when they go to the farm, and they always do all these songs, which is really good. I remember that Coronation woman being on the farm going, doing the little farm dance. And it was like, and the farm dance, you stand up and go. Yeah, so that was a good one. If you go and check it out, there's hardly any surviving footage left of the series with Box in it. There is some of the earlier episodes on YouTube, but not many. Moving on to another one, which I probably only watched on video. So these things I kind of still brought up watching them. Another one was Wizardora. And it's called Wizardora, Wizardora, you're the one who will brighten up my day, Wizardora. Something so da 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 da. Yeah. And I was kind of watching a couple of episodes on YouTube, and it was kind of bringing memories back of. Yeah, like when all these kind of shows are puppet kind of shows with puppets in them. I used to love watching programmes with puppets in them. During the 90's, that was a very, very popular thing to do. Do a children's TV show with puppets. There couldn't be a TV show in the 90's without puppets. You had things like Rainbow in the 70's and 80's. You had Sooty and Sweet. You had also during the 90's, you had Spooks at Bottle Bay. That was another brilliant series, children's series, featuring puppets. So yeah, everything was featuring puppets through the 90's. Every TV programme had you had the Riddlers as well, the Rotten Trolls. Yes, Wizardora. And I was kind of watching the first series of Wizardora, and I kind of watching some episodes of like later series on YouTube. I was like, that doesn't look like Wizardora. Like how I remember it with long hair with a cloak and everything. That's how I remember it. Watching it as a child, and then I kind of watched a clip, and then I was like, that person matches with what I remember here. And this person in a cloak, he's like a closet. He's in the closet, and not in a sick way though. But he's a man with a hook on his head. And it was really amazing when you watch it, because he's moving. There isn't any sticks or anything. He's just fully animated. So he's like a little child inside him operating him, or something like that. It's just really amazing the way they can do these things. And there's another thing called Filbert, which is some sort of face thing that's all green, and there's a scarecrow and this big fish thing, and these things that come out the cupboards. It's very good. Even though they're like 15 minutes long each, they were still quite entertaining to watch as a child. Wizardora, yes. What other ones? Spooks of Bottle Bay. Yeah, Spooks of Bottle Bay was another brilliant one. yeah, and you can see that in Wizardora and Spooksbottle Bay. There's similar voices as well, so you know that yeah, that he there might be similar. Spooksbottle Bay is another one. Was Spooks in Bottle Bay, and there's a brilliant Sybil. I haven't seen the first series. I think I've seen the second series, and it depends on what they brought out on video is what we saw really. They brought out series 2 on video, and I got that. And I was watching Spooksbottle Bay with when Sybil returns. She just bubbles. It's like, I just love these puppet shows. They're absolutely fantastic. Sybil puppet. She was horrible, and she just bubbles. And her brother Cyril Sludge, and their cousin, which is called, don't know, can't remember. He's the main character, but I can't remember his name at the moment. He's got a dog called Maxwell. Yeah, and he lives in a guest house. Oh no! It's just classic. Oh no! Someone's happened! Oh, the spooks are coming out! Oh, spooky! Oh, Maxie! It's like, oh. And it's really funny. And the puppets look really strange because like, oh. Oh. And the spooks are quite cool as well. They're kind of good characters as well. They have fun tonight. Yeah, and yeah, I've watched those episodes quite a lot as well. So you see, all you get this on video is basically what we watch really. I watched Wizardora on video, All Sorts on video, Spooksbottle Bay on video. So all these things are kind of watched on video because I did have an opportunity to watch them on television. I might have watched Wizardora on television, that's why I got the video, but I don't know, I can't remember. Another puppet show thing as a child growing up watching. Later on in my childhood, I was watching Rotten Trolls, which was on ITV, which is another one about puppets and other trolls living in a valley, and this man stumbles in, and Roger stumbles in, and he goes, Roger was here, something, and they think he's the king, and he goes, and he becomes the king of the Rotten Trolls with Jochen Thway and the Black Psyche and Miss Kettlewell and Mrs. Kettlewell and Earsgarth and Sally or whatever her name was, Polly, I don't know. And that was really good. And then Nab Twins. Oh, I can't remember what their catchphrase was. Cattle cray. Yeah, so yeah, and I used to watch that, and you could buy them on video, and I bought a video, the first, well, one of the series, and I found another one in the shops. Video, they actually sold videos in my day, in shops, and I got another series that was kind of cool. Yeah, Rotten Trolls is another good show. And that was more later in my childhood. I remember also watching ITV. I used to watch ITV sometimes, but I think I mostly watched ITV, and then I think I was between ITV and BBC. BBC didn't really have many children's programs, and they ran children's programs. So I watched a lot of children's programs on ITV, and watched some on BBC. BBC ones. Playdays would be BBC. Yeah, that's one I watched on BBC with. There was only a few ones actually good. There was Poppy the cat. There was Y-Bird. That was already interesting because she pokes her thing on the keypad and you see how things are made. I love that one. And Friday was always the one that you had to watch. Friday's episode was always the one you had to watch because Friday was the play day. It was the day where they all came together and did plays, and that was the one that I loved the most. Friday was the one episode you had to watch because they did plays and did acting, and that was the day that I had to tune in because you get all the characters from Playdays coming together, and they formed and did plays like Poppy, Whitebird, and that little thing with the pockets things, and they all came together. And the one with can't Come up and ride on Rosie. They ride on the roller round coaster thing, and you go to adventures, and these metal things with funnels on their head come out. It's amazing looking back at all these little programs that used to be. Another program that used to be was I really want to see back on television was, or at least repeats of them, is Chuckle Brothers, To Me to You. That was another brilliant program. Where they did a game show where you stand on this thing and you go to me to you, and then you go answer questions, and you go around this board, and then if you hit a certain thing, so you've got to go off to and play another game. Like it's a game, and you play the game, and you go off with the Chuckle Brothers and play a game somewhere, and it was really cool. Then you come back to the board and you go spinning around as a game, and you have a celebrity every week. It was really good, and yeah. It was really exciting, yeah. I really want to watch all these old programmes again, because it just takes you back to your childhood, and it's really good taking you back to your childhood, and actually, you know, taking you back to your childhood and remembering. It's really, really nice. And I'm gonna be a big child, and I go back and watch these episodes again, because, you know, it's part of your childhood, really. And like, as I said, that Coronation Street woman, every time I remind her, she reminds me of her in all sorts. So yeah, it's just, yeah. And there was this guy called Stan, who was in Wizardora, and he was in Catherine Tate. He looks exactly the same, and that cloak person actually looks like Stan the character. And it's like Stan was in Wizardora, and Stan was in Catherine Tate. He looks exactly the same. He's the person who goes and gets the burgers from Catherine Tate. It's weird. How old must he be? And yeah, so I better round up all these old programmes. What old programmes do you remember watching as a child growing up in the 90s? Other ones could be Rosie and Jim. I remember watching Rosie and Jim all the time. Rosie and Jim. Rosie and Jim. There's probably loads of others I used to watch as well. But put a link down. Put a comment down below. What programs did you watch as a child growing up in the UK? Yeah, UK. American, I wouldn't know if you're talking about, or Australian. But yeah, because you stole our children's programs. Like, you stole Play School, and you stole Play Away and that kind of thing. Because when you type it into the computer, it always comes up with the American stuff, not the English stuff. So you stole it. So yeah, yeah. So yeah, what are your classic things that you remember watching as a child? You probably watched the same stuff as me, but you might have watched other stuff. Titch comes into mind. I don't know why I watched Titch. Titch. Basically, when you come home from school, you turn on the television. What is there on? Normally, when you come back from television, CBBC hasn't started yet. CBBC as in BBC One, or BBC Two, not CBBC channel. That wasn't invented yet. And then all CBBS. And you came home, and there wasn't BBC who hadn't started yet. So what was there to watch? ITV.
Hello, and a huge cat yodeling welcome to CITV. We're off on an adventure with Tilly, Tom and Tiny later. First, though, it's time to open the box of tricks in Giggleish all sorts.
It's always on. You put ITV on, what comes up? Titch or something else like that, and you sit down and watch it, because you've got nothing else to do, have you? Well, at those times, you had nothing else to do, then watch television. So we came back, watched television, and you just basically watched all the programmes that were on. Nothing else to do. God, we were bored, weren't we? Anyway, okay, I'll see you. Goodbye. Love you guys.